In the year 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, a dramatic aerial view of Mount Vesuvius rising above the Bay of Naples with the dense city of Naples surrounding its base. The eruption lasted approximately 18 hours. It buried the Roman city of Pompeii under approximately 6 meters of volcanic ash and pumice. It buried the city of Herculaneum under 20 meters of pyroclastic material. Approximately 2,000 people died in Pompeii alone, based on the bodies and casts recovered. The cities were preserved almost perfectly beneath the ash. Buildings, frescoes, food and ovens, people frozen in their final moments. A snapshot of Roman life preserved by the geography of volcanic destruction. Today, 3 million people live in Naples. Naples sits at the foot of the same Mount Vesuvius that buried Pompeii. The volcano last erupted in 1944. It has been building pressure ever since. Geologists classify the area around Vesuvius as one of the highest volcanic risk zones on Earth. 3 million people, one of the world's most dangerous volcanoes. The same geography that killed thousands in 79 AD, and Naples is not unusual. Approximately 800 million people worldwide live within 100 kilometers of an active volcano. 800 million people, choosing to build their lives in the shadow of geology that can kill without warning. And they are not making a mistake. They are making a calculation. A geographic calculation as old as agriculture itself. The geography that kills most rarely is the same geography that feeds most reliably. Today, Where on Earth reveals the geography of volcanoes, why they exist where they do, why the most dangerous landscapes are the most populated, and why 800 million people have made the same geographic choice. Subscribe to Where on Earth and hit the bell. Now let us understand the geography of where volcanoes are. A world map shows the locations of the world's active volcanoes as red dots clustering in distinctive geographic patterns. The pattern is immediately clear. Volcanoes are not randomly distributed across the Earth's surface. They cluster along specific geographic lines. The most dramatic concentration is the Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped arc of volcanic and earthquake activity running around the edges of the Pacific Ocean, from the southern tip of South America northward along the western coast of North and Central America, across Alaska, down through Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and New Zealand. The Ring of Fire contains approximately 75% of all the world's active volcanoes. It exists because of plate tectonics. The Pacific Ocean floor is formed by several tectonic plates. These plates are moving. At the edges of the Pacific, those oceanic plates are colliding with continental plates and diving beneath them. The process of subduction. The oceanic plate dives down into the hot mantle beneath. It heats up. Its water-saturated minerals release water into the mantle rock above it. Water lowers the melting point of rock. The mantle rock above the subducting plate melts. That melted rock magma is lighter than the surrounding solid rock. It rises. It pushes through cracks in the crust above. It erupts at the surface as a volcano. Wherever an oceanic plate dives beneath a continental plate along the edges of the Pacific, the same process creates volcanoes above the subduction zone. Japan has 111 active volcanoes. Indonesia has 130 active volcanoes, 13% of all active volcanoes on Earth. They are on a collection of islands home to 280 million people. The Cascade volcanoes of the Pacific Northwest were formed by the Juan de Fuca plate. The Andes volcanoes form the spine of South America. All of these are products of the same geographic process. An oceanic plate dives beneath a continental plate. Mantle melting produces magma. Magma rises toward the surface. Volcanoes erupt along the Ring of Fire. A second zone of volcanic activity runs through the middle of the oceans. The mid-ocean ridge system is the longest mountain range on Earth at 65,000 kilometers. It runs along boundaries where tectonic plates are moving apart rather than colliding. Where plates diverge, magma fills the gap between them. Iceland sits directly on the mid-Atlantic ridge. The island exists because of continuous eruption as the North American and Eurasian plates move apart. Iceland gains approximately 2.5 centimeters of new land every year as the plates separate and magma fills the gap. A third zone of volcanic activity occurs at geological hotspots. Hotspots are fixed points in the mantle where an unusually hot plume rises regardless of plate boundaries. As tectonic plates move over these fixed hotspots, they create chains of volcanic islands. The Hawaiian Islands were created this way. The Pacific Plate has been moving northwestward over a fixed mantle hotspot for millions of years. As it moved, each new volcano was built above the hotspot before the plate carried it away. The oldest Hawaiian islands are to the northwest. The youngest, the Big Island of Hawaii, is directly above the hotspot today, still erupting, still growing. The geography of where volcanoes exist is the geography of where tectonic plates are most active. Subduction zones, diverging plates, and mantle hotspots together produce volcanic activity. Together they produce the 1,500 potentially active volcanoes across the Earth's surface. Now let us understand why the most dangerous landscapes are also the most populated. A farmer works on densely cultivated volcanic slopes in Java, Indonesia, with an active volcanic peak visible in the background. The answer begins with soil. Volcanic rock is rich in minerals that plants need to grow: magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, iron. When volcanic rock and ash weather, those minerals are released into the soil. Volcanic soils are extraordinarily fertile. In many parts of the world, they are the most productive agricultural soils on Earth. The soil around Mount Vesuvius has been intensively farmed since before the birth of Christ. Every square meter of volcanic soil on the slopes of Vesuvius is cultivated: grapes, tomatoes, citrus fruit, olives, vegetables. The volcanic soils produce crops of exceptional quality and exceptional yield. The famous San Marzano tomato, considered by many chefs the finest cooking tomato in the world, is grown on the volcanic plains at the foot of Vesuvius. The geology that buried Pompeii is the same geology that grows the tomatoes on your pizza. Mount Etna on Sicily, Europe's most active volcano, erupts regularly. Its slopes are covered with vineyards, olive groves, citrus orchards, and hazelnut trees. The volcanic soil of Etna produces wine that is now among the most sought after in Italy. The danger has not emptied Etna's slopes of people. The fertility has filled them. Java is the most extreme example of this geographic pattern on Earth. Java is one island among Indonesia's 17,000 islands. It contains approximately 58% of Indonesia's entire population, 130 million people on one island, the most densely populated large island on Earth. Java has at least 45 active volcanoes, including Mount Merapi, one of the most active and most dangerous volcanoes in the world. In 2010, Mount Merapi erupted, killing approximately 350 people. Pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gas ash and rock moving at hundreds of kilometers per hour, destroyed communities on the volcano's slopes. The same communities rebuilt and returned, because the volcanic soil of Java feeds 130 million people. The same eruptions that kill in the short term deposit fresh ash that weathers into new fertile soil. The geography of Java is a geography of extraordinary volcanic productivity. Rice grown on volcanic terraces carved into Javanese hillsides, coffee grown on volcanic slopes, tea grown in volcanic highlands. The population density that makes Java the most crowded large island on Earth is inseparable from the volcanic fertility that makes it productive enough to feed that population. Without the volcanoes, Java could not feed 130 million people. With the volcanoes, it can. The danger and the abundance are the same geography. Now let us go to Mexico. Popocatépetl is one of the world's most active volcanoes, rising to 5,426 meters in central Mexico. It has been erupting continuously since 1994. It regularly expels ash clouds that drift over nearby cities. Mexico City, home to approximately 22 million people, sits just 70 kilometers away. The city of Puebla, with 3 million people, sits even closer. The total population within potential impact range of a major Popocatépetl eruption is estimated at approximately 25 million people. 25 million. The slopes of Popocatépetl are cultivated: corn, beans, wheat, flowers. The villages on the volcano's slopes have been there for hundreds of years. The Aztec civilization that built Tenochtitlan, the city beneath modern Mexico City, grew on the volcanic soils of the central Mexican highlands. The same geology that created Popocatépetl created the agricultural productivity that sustained one of the greatest pre-Columbian civilizations. Now let us go to Indonesia's Mount Merapi, specifically to understand how the geographic calculation is made in real time. When Merapi erupted in 2010, killing approximately 350 people, scientists and government officials urged residents to evacuate the danger zone on the volcano's slopes. Many evacuated, many did not. The ones who stayed were not reckless. They were making a precise geographic calculation. Their farms were on the slopes, their crops were in the ground, their cattle were in the fields. To leave was to lose everything that they had invested in that land. To stay was to risk death. But the risk of death from a volcanic eruption, which might occur every few years or every few decades, was weighed against the certainty of poverty if they abandoned the most productive land they had ever known. After the 2010 eruption, the survivors returned. New communities rebuilt on the same slopes. The ash that Merapi deposited during the eruption was already beginning to weather. Within a few years, it would enrich the soil further. The farms that were buried would become more productive than before. The geography that killed had already begun providing for the next harvest. Now let us understand 3 specific geographic benefits of volcanoes beyond agriculture. The first is geothermal energy. Iceland sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge. The geological energy of 2 tectonic plates moving apart heats the ground to extraordinary temperatures. Iceland generates approximately 70% of its total energy from geothermal sources. Hot water from underground geothermal wells heats almost every building in Iceland. The volcanic geography that makes Iceland geologically active also makes it one of the world's most energy self-sufficient nations. New Zealand generates approximately 17% of its electricity from geothermal energy on the same geographic principle. The volcanic geology that makes these places dangerous is simultaneously the geology that powers them. The second benefit is minerals. Magma rising from the Earth's mantle carries dissolved minerals from deep within the crust. Copper, gold, silver, molybdenum, nickel. As magma cools and solidifies, those minerals are concentrated into ore deposits. The world's largest copper deposits are associated with volcanic arc geology in Chile and Peru along the Pacific Ring of Fire, the same subduction zone that created the Andes. Volcanoes created the copper ore bodies that make Chile the world's largest copper producer. The Andean volcanoes that we covered in our critical minerals video are producing minerals that power the electric vehicle revolution. The dangerous geography is also the economically productive geography. The third benefit is tourism. Volcanoes are among the most visited landscapes on Earth. Mount Fuji in Japan receives approximately 200,000 summit climbers per year and tens of millions of visitors to its surrounding national park. The volcanic landscapes of Iceland attract millions of tourists annually. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, one of the world's most continuously active, is one of the United States' most visited national parks. The raw geological drama of volcanic landscapes generates enormous tourism revenue for the communities that surround them. Naples and the Amalfi Coast, sitting beneath Vesuvius, generate billions of euros in tourism revenue every year. The geography of volcanic danger is also the geography of volcanic beauty. Now let us connect the geography of volcanoes to the broader geography of civilization. Every ancient agricultural civilization that built long-term population density had access to extraordinarily fertile soils. The river delta civilizations we covered, Egypt on the Nile Delta, Mesopotamia on the Tigris and Euphrates, had access to annually renewed river sediment. The volcanic civilizations of Indonesia, Central America, and the Mediterranean had access to mineral-rich volcanic soils. The civilizations that built on the worst soils, thin sandy tropical soils, the acidic soils of boreal forests, the shallow soils of desert margins, never developed the agricultural surplus that allows cities to form. The geography of ancient volcanic activity is part of the geography of where civilization took root. The volcanic soils of central Mexico sustained Aztec agricultural productivity. The volcanic soils of Java sustained populations that allowed the Majapahit Empire to build one of Southeast Asia's greatest civilizations. The volcanic soils of the Italian peninsula, enriched by the eruptions of Vesuvius and the Phlegraean fields, sustained the Roman agricultural base. Volcanoes did not just threaten ancient civilizations, they fed them. And those civilizations built cities on the same slopes that fed them. Cities that are still there today. Naples, Rome, Yogyakarta beneath Merapi, Mexico City beneath Popocatépetl. The geography that built them is the geography that threatens them. 800 million people making the same calculation that farmers have made for 10,000 years. The volcano does not kill often enough to outweigh what it gives. The soil is too fertile, the land is too productive, the investment is too deep, and the eruption, when it comes, is a price the geography charges for everything it provides the rest of the time. Subscribe to Where on Earth for weekly geography that reveals the forces behind everything. Hit the bell and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because the world looks very different when you understand the geography beneath the world's most productive and most dangerous landscapes.